of all, I'm very thankful and grateful to, be a part of the Cheez-It Bowl and really what this bowl game represent and what those guys have done. Listening to Steve last night and really being here a couple years ago, watching what they've done. Surrounding the bowl site and obviously Camping World Stadium. It's really impressive. So it's great to be here. Our guys are excited about it. Worked really hard here in the last few weeks and really appreciative of being here and thankful and grateful that we have the opportunity.
Hi, Scott Docterman with The Athletic. I guess I wanted to start with some of the core, the seniors that you have on your roster. Guys like Orion Vance, Mike Rose, Greg Eisworth. What do they mean to the program and how you've changed your scheme really over from the very very beginning when you came to the 3-3-5, which has been so effective for you? And what do they mean both schematically and just in a leadership perspective?
Well, I think first and foremost, I think they are the secret sauce. The 3-3-5, 3-5-3, three high safeties, whatever y'all want to call it, has gotten a lot of notoriety. The secret sauce is those guys that bought into how we play defense and not so much what we were playing. And I think Kenny's a great example of that. And he's been here as long as we have. And I think that's been the secret sauce, their makeup of how we do things, how they studied the film, what they bought into, our vision of defense. It wasn't, I think, as we've gotten into it, defense was not something that was, maybe a high priority in our conference. Everybody was scoring points or you didn't think you could play defense. And I think our kids, our players took that to heart and bought into the house stuff. And, they meant everything to really what we're doing on defense. They have been the secret sauce. And again, I think a lot of it gets put on what we do. I think the reality of it is how our guys have done it has been what's really been remarkable for me. I've done this for a long time, and they've been as impressive group as I've ever been around.
This is for both of you. Go back to 2019 when you were both here, faced Notre Dame in the Camping Bowl. What changed after that season going forward that made Iowa State football program better, I would say? What changed? What had to change? Both of you. I don't care which one.
Anyone go? Or?
Yeah, sure. I'll say after that game, I really think throughout every season you learn a lot. You capitalize from the mistakes that you've made before. I really feel like that was really the biggest key that helped us grow from that situation that happened in 2019. But I like to say we take, with all our losses, we learn a lesson with them. So it was, a lesson at the end of the day. And, whatever we learned from that game, we took forward with us to prepare for the next season and really helped out. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think really you learn lessons. And I think, as a coaching staff, we had all, for the most part, had come with Coach from the University of Toledo, and I think we had always done things certain ways, and we had gotten ourselves to the point where we were playing here and playing Notre Dame, and I think we came out of that game and made a lot of changes of who we were, what we had done. We'd always, with Coach, the answer is work harder and work more hours, and we had gotten to a point where we had worked as hard and many hours as you could probably work, and we came out of that game and realized, man, that's not completely the answer either. And I give Coach Campbell a ton of credit. Made some changes, hard changes, and I think we all looked around the room and made changes in our own way. And I think our guys, again, we learned great lessons from it, and I think our kids have responded, and coaches have responded as well.
Stay up front on the right.
Good morning. This is for both of you. My name is David Hove at TigerNet.com. Clemson's offense. Notable struggles through the first part of the year, maybe even the first two-thirds. What changed for them there in the last 3 or 4 games that allowed them to have at least a little bit more success?
I I don't know. You'd probably have to directly ask those guys, but you see the change. You know, I think. I don't know. I don't see a ton of schematic changes, to be honest with you, David. I think what you see is, you know, I think the guys maybe got comfortable. The experience, the guys that were playing, you know, was a newer group, those kind of things. But, man, you sure do notice a difference that second half of the season as you're talking about, you know, scoring upwards of 36, 30-some points a game, you know, the ball's going up and down the field, running the football, success running the ball, throwing the football. And I think probably just watching, probably the experience of all of those guys got as the season went along. You know, I just think they improved and got better and better, and we're playing, as coaches, playing their best football at the end of the year, and that's what you hope, and that's really what I saw on film.
Jared Stansberg from Cyclone Fanatic. Coach Campbell talked when the bowl game was announced about his connections with Coach Sweeney, and I think that those have been pretty well documented, the work you guys have done with them. Can you just walk us through that from your end, like when you guys got opportunity to work with them? What did you learn from them? What they maybe tried to learn from you?
Well, those guys, again, we were in a new defense, and, you know, when they came up, you know, we gave them a completely different scheme than what we're playing now. So, just teasing. You know, we're the situation where those guys came up and visited with, you know, Brent and that staff and really kind of looked at what we were doing. And I think all staffs do that. I think, you know, really good staffs do that, try to get some stuff that they can use. And I don't know how much they're using now or not, but really kind of build a little bit of relationship with them through the years. And you know, even with Wes, you know, off the field, those kind of things. And great relationship, to be honest with you, very professional. And you know, we had never gotten down there. I think Coach Campbell had spoke maybe down there, and but those guys came up and visited with us. And you know, I think just a professional thing that you do is coaches visit places, and they came to visit us, and stayed in touch with those guys. You know, touched base with Brent last week and his new hire, and so you know, that's kind of been, that was it, to be honest.
We have time for a couple more. We'll start with Matt.
Yeah, Matt Marshall, the Orlando Sentinel. John, when a team goes through a coaching change and then it goes through a coordinator change as well, do you feel like you have to do anything differently when you're looking, because they're not going to have the same offensive coordinator, so to speak, or they're going to make some changes like that? You have to maybe look out for something different, or do you think they'll run a pretty similar system to what they did before?
I think you have to prep for what you see. You know, I don't think you can chase ghosts. You know, I think you do chase some. You know, obviously we go back through years of film, whatever we can find. But, you know, you really have to focus on what you think you're seeing and what you're getting. And for us, because we play a little bit different defense, you know, we do get a lot of schematical things that people have run, whatever, and so we rep those things as well, things we've seen throughout our season in the last 3 years, really, spend time doing that. So not a lot. We don't try to chase too many ghosts. You just don't have time. You have to kind of do what you do. You have to look at what they're doing, what their strengths are, try to pull from that. Look at years maybe of experiences that they've seen, you know, versus your kind of style of defense or whatever. But you know, if you get caught chasing ghosts in a bowl game, it's a long haul. So we try to stick with what we think we've seen and who's doing what they do, and that's what we go with.
Last question, Scott.
Yeah, you've lost 2 defensive backs to the transfer portal. How have you managed to kind of replace that? And then also, I think you have 10 starters right now that are senior level. Whether they go or stay, it's too early to tell. But how have you adjusted maybe practice to try to look at some of the younger players that may have to step in 2022 and beyond?
You know, Coach does a great job. You know, we've spent a ton of time. We get our reps with, you know, with the ones, reps with the twos, reps with the threes. You know, we've built depth through what we've been doing. So, you know, with some guys, you know, that have moved on, you know, we just kind of move the next guy in and move them over and move them up, you know. And so I don't think it's been a huge change. I think, you know, you spend your time with reps. Coach Campbell has always been a huge bowl game practice, repetitions with everybody, from true freshmen to sophomores to juniors. So I don't think it's changed a lot. I think we stick with kind of the pattern that Coach has got us into since we've been with him as a bowl bowl prep. And so we've gotten a lot of reps. We've had to move some guys over and up, obviously. But those guys, most of those guys have all played for us throughout the season.
Gentlemen, thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Appreciate you. Thanks.